Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're diving into a massive, completely unseen force in our IT infrastructure. It turns out that while we spend so much time optimizing things like CPU scheduling, memory ballooning, or network configurations, there's this hidden foundation quietly doing the absolute hardest work in the entire virtualization stack.
It's kind of a provocative question, right? We always obsessed over the speed of our processors, the capacity of our RAM, and our network throughput. But right at the very bottom, reading and writing every single byte of every virtual machine's disk, memory snapshot, and config file is the file system. The file system is this invisible engine that literally dictates whether your infrastructure flies, stalls, or just completely crashes.
Okay, let's lay out our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the invisible city planner, then look at the stakes of getting it wrong, move on to the anatomy of a virtual machine, and finally wrap up with some essential file system concepts. All right, part 1, the invisible city planner, understanding the file system's role. To really wrap our heads around this, the source material uses this absolutely brilliant analogy. Think of your file system as the ultimate city planner for your storage. Your raw disk space? That's simply raw land. The file system is what decides how that land gets divided up into manageable plots, which we call blocks. When you spin up virtual machines, you're essentially constructing buildings on those plots. And to keep track of the whole shebang, the city planner maintains meticulous city records. That's your metadata. But the most crucial job of the city planner is figuring out exactly what happens when a massive earthquake hits mid-construction. In our world, that means a sudden server crash or a complete power failure.
When you think about this structural foundation, it's super easy to see how a bad city plan just leads to total urban sprawl, massive traffic jams in your data pipelines, and collapsed buildings after a disaster. But a good file system, a good city planner, supports massive growth. It keeps data traffic flowing effortlessly, and recovers incredibly fast when the unthinkable happens. Like when your pager goes off at 2 a.m. because a server rack just lost power.
Moving into part 2, the stakes of getting it wrong. Real-world operational dread. Before we actually get into the mechanics of how it works, we need to talk about what happens when you use the wrong file system or try to use a generic one where a highly specialized one is needed. It basically brings on 4 massive headaches. First, performance degradation. Without proper block allocation, VMs will literally stall under I/O pressure, causing these severe latency spikes. Second, data corruption risk. If your file system doesn't have journaling, a sudden power loss leaves your VMs in a broken, inconsistent state. Third, scalability walls, where legacy file systems artificially cap your file and volume sizes. And finally, operational complexity. This forces teams into miserable manual workarounds, stuff like defragmentation and really messy snapshot cleanups. Actually, let's pause on snapshots for a second, because this is a huge one. In legacy environments that lack advanced storage features, snapshot sprawl is literally a silent killer. Without copy on write, taking snapshots can cause a 50-gigabyte virtual machine to suddenly bloat into hundreds of gigabytes of consumed storage. It just drains your incredibly expensive flash drives and turns blazing fast storage into an absolute sluggish nightmare. Section 3, Anatomy of a Virtual Machine, Deconstructing the Monolith. Now, what's really interesting here is a quote from the research that totally broke my illusion of what a server even is. It says, "A virtual machine is not a single monolithic file. It's a collection of files, each serving a specific purpose." When you boot up a server, you aren't just opening one big box. You're activating this complex ecosystem of distinct files, and each one demands entirely different things from your storage layer. It's honestly a pretty wild ecosystem. At one end of the spectrum, you've got your virtual disk files. These are massive, terabyte-sized heavy lifters, causing intense I/O stress on the physical disks. At the totally opposite end, you have tiny config files. Those just need perfect, uncorrupted saves so your VM's hardware profile doesn't break. And then right in between those extremes, you have snapshot deltas that constantly grow as data diverges, memory state files that require the file system to rapidly dump gigabytes of RAM without choking, and log files that are tiny on their own but create heavy metadata overhead when you multiply them across thousands of machines. And that brings us to Section 4, Essential File System Concepts, the vocabulary of storage. Okay, we're going to do a rapid-fire glossary of the core file systems concepts that determine how well your infrastructure actually handles all those files. Let's start with journaling. Think of this as a write-ahead log. It's exactly like a master chef writing down every single step of a complex recipe in a notebook right before they start cooking. Why?
Well, because if the power in the kitchen suddenly fails, when the lights come back on, the chef can look at the journal and know exactly where to resume without ruining the meal. That is exactly how your file system recovers from a crash without corrupting your VM data. Next up is copy on write, or COW. Instead of taking an old piece of data and permanently overwriting it right in place, copy on write puts the new data in a completely safe new location. Once it's securely written, it just updates a pointer. It's an incredibly clever workaround, and it's the absolute foundation for instant snapshots, not to mention the ultimate protection against partial write corruption. Then we've got extents. Remember those massive virtual disk files we just talked about? Well, if the file system had to individually track millions of tiny scattered blocks for a single terabyte-sized file, performance would just tank due to fragmentation. Extents fix this by reserving massive, contiguous ranges of blocks for a single file. It basically tells the system, hey, this file owns blocks 1,000 through 5,000. This keeps large file I/O incredibly fast. Now, metadata, this is simply data about your data. File names, permissions, the exact block locations on the flash storage. What really blew my mind in the research is that in a small environment, this is no big deal at all. But when you scale up to an enterprise environment with thousands of VMs and millions of files, how your file system handles metadata scalability actually becomes the ultimate performance bottleneck. Block size is another really crucial tuning lever. A 4 kilobyte block size is great for saving space if you have millions of tiny files, but it creates a massive tracking overhead for large files. On the flip side, a 64 kilobyte block size might waste a little bit of space for tiny files, but it is perfectly optimized for massive sequential writes. Think of it like our city planner from earlier, zoning for tiny houses versus giant skyscrapers. You absolutely need the right plot size for the right building. And finally, thin provisioning. This is honestly just pure storage magic. It lets you declare a 100 gigabyte virtual disk for a server while only physically consuming the 20 gigabytes of data that are actually written to it. But here's the kicker. It is entirely the underlying file system support for sparse files or a copy on write architecture that makes this amazing space-saving illusion possible in the first place. So, bringing all of this together, it is pretty clear that from extents to journaling, this invisible engine at the bottom determines absolutely everything about your virtual infrastructure's reliability and speed. Understanding this completely changes how we should look at our virtual infrastructure from the ground up. So I want to leave you with one final thought from all of this. Now that you understand exactly what the file system does and the catastrophic stakes of getting it wrong, do you actually know which file system is running your city? You might want to go take a look at your own data centers. You might be surprised by what you find quietly running the show. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Catch you next time.